What if I told you? Manchester United's 2007 to 2008 season wasn't just great, it was legendary? 99% of teams that start the season with 0 wins in 3 games don't go on to win a single trophy. But Sir Alex Ferguson's squad didn't just recover, they dominated. This season gave us Cristiano Ronaldo at his absolute peak, tactical genius from Fergie, and a dramatic title race that came down to the final day. But here's what almost no one talks about. The psychological trigger that transformed United from a struggling squad into an unstoppable force. The controversial moment that nearly ended their treble dreams before they even began. And the single decision that changed football history forever. But first, how did United go from 17th place to one of the greatest teams ever? Let me show you. Manchester United's Premier League title defense started in the worst possible way. A 0-0 draw at Old Trafford. A frustrating 1-1 draw at Portsmouth. And then, disaster. Cristiano Ronaldo sent off for a headbutt. A 3-game ban. No wins in 3 matches. After a shocking 1-0 loss in the Manchester Derby, United sat in 17th place. Pundits and fans were asking the unthinkable. Was this the end of Fergie's dynasty? Was this squad, without Ruud van Nistelrooy, good enough to compete? And most importantly, could Ronaldo step up and become the leader United desperately needed? But what happened next changed everything. A single moment, a goal from an unlikely hero, kick-started United's season, setting them on a course toward history. But first, let's talk about the game that turned their season around. You won't believe who stepped up when United needed him most. With everything on the line, Manchester United needed a hero. And surprisingly, it wasn't Ronaldo. Against Tottenham in a game that felt like life or death for their title hopes, a moment of magic changed everything. The ball fell to Nani, the young Portuguese winger, and from outside the box, he unleashed a thunderous strike that flew past the keeper. Old Trafford erupted. United had their first win of the season. But their struggles weren't over. The next challenge? A return to Old Trafford for a club legend, Roy Keane managing Sunderland. For 90 minutes, it looked like United were about to drop more points. But in the dying seconds, Louis Saha broke through, scoring a last-gasp winner. It wasn't pretty, but it was a turning point. United were grinding out wins. But there was still a big problem. They weren't scoring enough goals. Fans started calling them 1-0 United. The critics said this team lacked the firepower to go all the way. That is, until one game changed everything. 4 goals. An explosion of attacking football. And the moment where Cristiano Ronaldo became unstoppable. But first, let's talk about the tactical change that made it all possible. 4 weeks, Manchester United scraped by with narrow wins. The defense was rock solid, but the attack? It wasn't clicking. That all changed against Wigan. For the first 45 minutes, it looked like the same old story, possession, pressure, but no goals. Then, in the second half, something switched. Carlos Tevez struck first. Cristiano Ronaldo followed with 2 goals of his own. Wayne Rooney sealed the win with a 4th. Final score? 4-0. It was the first time all season United looked like champions. And from there they never looked back. Against Aston Villa? 3 goals before halftime. Against Middlesbrough? Another 4. Against Dynamo Kiev? A European masterclass, 4 goals again. For the first time in 100 years, Manchester United scored 4 or more goals in 4 straight games. United weren't just winning. They were destroying teams. And at the heart of it all? Cristiano Ronaldo. But just when it seemed like nothing could stop them, disaster struck. A game that could define the entire season, against Arsenal. A battle for the top of the table. And with just seconds left on the clock, heartbreak. But first, let's talk about how Ronaldo became the most dangerous player in the world. By now, Manchester United were on fire. They weren't just winning, they were demolishing teams. And at the center of it all, Cristiano Ronaldo was becoming a monster. He scored in 5 straight Premier League games. He dominated in Europe. He was unplayable on the wing. United fans knew something special was happening. But the real test? Arsenal. A battle at the top of the table. A game that could decide the title race. United took the lead, a brilliant strike from Ronaldo. Old Trafford was ready to celebrate. But then, in stoppage time, Arsenal equalized. A gut punch. The critics said United had peaked too soon. That they couldn't handle the pressure. But Ronaldo? He had other ideas. The very next game he silenced the doubters. 2 goals against Blackburn. A dominant performance against Liverpool. And then, a hat-trick against Newcastle. Ronaldo was now unstoppable. But just when United looked ready to run away with the league, the unthinkable happened. A shocking 1-0 defeat to Bolton. A game that saw Gerrard Piqué frozen out by Fergie forever. And suddenly the title race was wide open again. But first, let's talk about the game that proved Ronaldo was the best player in the world. Manchester United had momentum, until Bolton stopped them cold. A 1-0 loss that shook the team. Fergie never trusted Gerrard Piqué again. He was gone by summer. But United didn't crumble. Instead, they went on a 5-game winning streak with Ronaldo leading the charge. Then came Liverpool. The biggest test yet. West Brown scored. Ronaldo added another. Nani sealed it, 3-0. It was a statement win. But the title race wasn't over. Chelsea were catching up. And with just weeks left in the season, everything came down to one final showdown. But first, let's talk about the Champions League moment that changed football forever. The title race was neck and neck. Manchester United had to win their final game against Wigan to secure the Premier League. And who else but Cristiano Ronaldo to step up? A coolly taken penalty to open the scoring. Ryan Giggs, in his record-tying 758th appearance, sealed the win. United were Premier League champions. But the season wasn't over. One more match. One more trophy. The Champions League final against Chelsea. Ronaldo scored a stunning header. But a Frank Lampard goal sent the match into extra time. Then, penalties. Ronaldo missed. His dream season looked doomed. But fate had other plans. John Terry slipped. Van der Sar saved Anelka's shot. Manchester United were champions of Europe. A historic double. A 42-goal season for Ronaldo. A Ballon d'Or winning campaign. This wasn't just a great season, it was legendary. And if you want to see how Ronaldo became one of the greatest ever, you need to watch this next video.